Mars square Pluto. Does that scare you? Does that scare you enough? I think that by now we'd be beyond being scared of things, right? We should be beyond it or just like over it. It's kind of like when you're fearful of having cancer, and you go through and you do the test and you do the test and you do the test, and then you don't have it, and it's like, okay, cool. And then say you do have it, then you have to face that thing. You have to face that thing. Like you failed that test, you have to face that thing. You know, you have to face that thing. Then I feel like these Aries and this kind of energy is like forcing that. Like you're having to face the things maybe you didn't realize or see or notice, and or the things you don't want to face and see. Now you have to face those things. The sun in Gemini, Leo is in the moon. The moon is Leo, sun is Gemini, Mars square Pluto, and we have a lot of squares. Tough tension and energy. Well, it's not like the year started off great, so what are we expecting? Miracles? Yeah. Let's see what the Astro Tarot says. Mars. Competition, action, willpower. There is a lot of competition. Do you notice that? There's a lot of competition on the world level. Like the larger planets kind of affect the world, large scale things. Trickle down to people, individuals. There is some kind of race. Like, you know, remember they used to race to go to the moon or different things like that? This is like a race for power because there's something going on behind it that's pushing it. Bigger than all of us. And that's why it seems so nonsensical. And then we have Gaia. Earth, nature, embodiment. So there is a rush. Gaia, right energy. There's a lot of interesting information about Gaia in general, Gaia communications, Gaia organizations, right? Trying to find that treasure to save Gaia. Or to find a way out. Sextile, harmony, ease, compatibility. That's kind of like what you have to do, is work with those in your chart. So like, what's going to be a little easier to deal with? What can I cope with? What can I work on? What can I deal with? What's going to be a little bit easier for me to make my life a little better during this major change? Make changes. And Cancer, nurturing, sensitive, caring, Cancer. That is, you know, things are going to feel like you need to defend yourself. Things are feeling sensitive, irritable, annoyed. It's also a time of, you know, animals and bees and wasps and nature being dangerous, kind of attacking people, kind of like watching out for sharks and things like that. That's the kind of like energy that's also in the air. People, predatory people, more so now than ever, which we thought, well, we kind of had forgotten, but that we're starting to realize it more now, that what's in the wave of the emotional water here is that we need to be protective and defensive. Because remember, crabs have protective exterior, they even have their own little protector pinchers, right? But they still get eaten, don't they? I think that's a tough one for that. Cancers and Jupiter. So that's just expanding and all that crabbiness, that pickiness, that annoyance. We have the ascendant, appearance, first impressions, mask. We talked about the mask, right? We talked about Aries in the first house. We talked about that. Now with the Taurus energy, we have Mars in Taurus. How things are appearing is for a defensive mechanism, because that's also like, that's the mask. That's kind of like, you know, when someone has their, like knights, they have armor on. You can't really see what's underneath. You can't see who they are until that comes off. So that's like saying things are becoming unmasked. In order to get the armor off of someone, you have to it takes a lot of work to get armor off, especially if they don't want that armor taken off. So that's more unmasking on a deeper level that has not been seen yet, but the collective will see. full moon. Culmination, release, illumination. So that will be, things will still more to be revealed. Still more to be revealed. Knowledge, especially about religion and texts and ancient learning and over the seas and travel. And we'll also start to learn more about how the United States is more, how it's actually way more impacted by its originator, like probably the UK, England area, right? We're going to see how much more influential and impactful that actually is now. And we will see that we all belong to the crown. We belong to the crown. Forgot that, didn't we? Ever forgot it, huh? Pluto, regeneration, rebirth, transformation. Of course, we have, this is our major transit right now. Transits, Pluto in Aquarius retrograde. And we have Mars square Pluto. The destroyer, the regenerator. I think that's why people feel like it could be a big giant reset button, but Mars is fighting through. So keep in mind that that doesn't just happen very easily. It happens over time. It doesn't just happen overnight. It can in certain areas, but overall, generally, not an easy thing to accomplish. I don't think it's accomplishable now. There are so many benefic energies on the planet. Just saying. Trine, auspiciousness, positivity, luck. See, there's still a lot of luck here. It's kind of like those stories. There's those near unaliving experiences people have, right? NDEs, out of body experiences. Near misses. Like when you, especially when you're driving down a long highway in the middle of nowhere in the dark, and there are car accidents and people nearly get unalived, but they don't, or they get out of a bad accident unscathed and walk away. It's a lot of luck. That's like the energy of, it feels like a train wreck, but that's not going to happen. But I know a lot of people want to see that. The problem is that people want to see that happen because they think that's the answer. But that isn't always the answer. Keep that in mind. Well, anyway, lots to think about. Take care of yourself and get rest when you can.